It all starts with more than 100 years ago. People began to devour titans, and to protect themselves from them, they erected 3 walls: Maria, Rose, and Sina. Thanks to this, they have been living peacefully for 100 years. The main character is called Eren Yeager. He lives with his stepsister named Mikasa Ackerman in Shiganshina, which is separate from the Maria Gate, made as a decoy to detain titans if necessary. Their father is named Grisha, and he is famous for finding a cure during an epidemic that threatened the entire city, saving many lives. Everyone was grateful to him for that, but since then, as there were no major problems in the city, people became very relaxed. Even the members of the garrison, who are supposed to watch over the walls and protect them if needed, just spent their time drinking. This greatly displeased Eren because he believed that just because everyone is living in peace now doesn't mean it will continue, so everyone should be ready. And since they were just enjoying life, Eren decides to join the Scout Regiment, a guild whose task is to go beyond the city walls and find ways to fight titans. However, no matter how much they went there, they couldn't make much progress. Upon Eren's desire, Mikasa told their parents, who understandably were not happy about it. Mom immediately forbade Eren to join, but their father understood that if his son strongly desires something, it cannot be stopped. Meanwhile, Grisha went on a business trip outside the city walls. In the meantime, another main character named Armin is introduced, who is friends with Eren and Mikasa. Armin and Eren want to go beyond the walls, but their king has forbidden it. While they were discussing the reasons for this, a colossal titan attacks the 50-meter wall, breaking through the gates with its foot and letting smaller titans through. All the residents immediately started to flee, but Eren's mother remained in the house, so they went back to find her. Because the house collapsed, their mother was trapped, and despite the children's attempts to save her by lifting beams, they failed. As they refused to leave her, a member of the garrison named Hans took them away. Because they left their mother there, she was eaten by a titan. He took them to a ship that should lead inside the walls of Maria, but out of nowhere, a titan appeared, breaking through the Maria Gate on a run, meaning the titans could enter. Those who managed to survive as refugees headed for the Rose Wall, but because there were too many of them, there was a problem with food. All the refugees were sent to work the fields, but even then, there wasn't enough food. So, the next year, the government decided to send almost 25,000 refugees to defend the walls of Maria, but after an unsuccessful operation, only slightly more than 100 people returned. However, this sacrifice allowed them to partially solve the food problem. A year later, after these events, the main characters decide to join the Cadet Corps, where they were to be made into warriors, who would then join one of the 3 guilds. The most elite is the military police because their task is to protect the king within the inner walls, which is considered the safest place. Almost everyone dreams of joining there, but only the top 10 graduates can do so. The instructor of the Odessa school named Shadis began this initiation, the essence of which was to intimidate the entrants so they would understand in advance what they were getting into. However, he did not do this with everyone. For example, he didn't touch Eren because he could see through his face what he had been through, so there was no point in intimidating him and the others. During this initiation, the instructor noticed Sasha, who stole hot potatoes from the kitchen and ate them right in front of him. For this, Shadis deprived her of lunch and sent her running for 5 hours. Also, those who showed themselves insured during the initiation were sent home. During dinner, everyone around began asking Eren what it was like to be in the middle of a titan attack. There he meets Jean, who immediately falls in love with Mikasa. His goal is to join the military police, to live within the walls, and protect himself from titans. At the same time, Eren has a completely different goal. He wants to join the Scout Regiment to single-handedly wipe out all the titans. However, despite his bold words, during the first test, which involved mastering the 3D maneuver gear compared to others, he performed extremely poorly. Therefore, they needed to train him, but their explanations didn't help him, and he ended up flipping over and hitting his head, which could have resulted in his dismissal due to failure. He began seeking help from those who successfully passed the tests, during which he met Reiner and his best friend, Bertolt. Instead of helping him directly, they encouraged him so that he would definitely pass everything on the retake. During the retake, Eren initially struggled but eventually passed the test effortlessly after they replaced his faulty belt. It turns out his previous failures were due to the broken gear. The new recruits started diligent training, during which Mikasa was considered the most capable. Eren was praised for his diligence, which enabled him to achieve a lot, and Armin, although not the strongest physically, performed well in theoretical exercises. In the end, 218 cadets graduated from the school, with Mikasa and Eren among the top 10, giving them the opportunity to join the military police. However, despite this, Eren still desires to join the Scouts, convincing others to do the same. Armin's speech persuaded many who initially wanted to join the military police to opt for the Scout Regiment instead. As they graduated and started defending the walls of Rose, a colossal titan attacks them, breaking the gates just like 5 years ago, allowing other titans to enter. Facing the colossal titan, Eren wanted to kill it and attacked, but instead of battling him, the colossal titan simply destroyed a huge part of their weaponry, indicating its intelligence. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the colossal titan vanished. There's a possibility that the armored titan might appear again, as it did last time, breaching the inner walls of Rose. Therefore, the people's task now is to evacuate civilians as quickly as possible and try to kill as many titans as possible, defending the walls of Rose. Mikasa, considered the most capable, was sent to the elite squad to assist civilians, while Eren and other graduates were divided into groups to battle the titans. Titans are not intelligent. They are driven by instincts. Most of them resemble men but lack animal reproductive organs. Their sole purpose is to prey on humans. The fact that they lived outside the walls for many years and fed on humans proves they don't need food, meaning they only target humans. If a titan's head is cut off, it will regenerate in 2 minutes, but cutting the back of their neck, their weak spot, prevents regeneration. Eren and Armin were in the same group for the titan battle, but along the way, one of them was immediately eaten by a titan. Fueled by emotions, Eren wanted revenge but had his leg bitten off by another titan. Eventually, only he and Armin remained, but when the last titan attacked, Eren, despite his pain, saved Armin but got eaten himself, leaving only his hand as a reminder. Meanwhile, the fleeing city residents encountered a problem when a local leader blocked their retreat path, trying to bring his wagon there. None could stop him because his guards protected him too well. They were discovered by a titan, which immediately attacked them, but Mikasa managed to save them, threatening to kill the local leader if he didn't remove the wagon to let the civilians through. After that, Mikasa recalls her childhood. Her parents were waiting for Grisha, who was supposed to conduct a routine medical checkup, but instead, they were invaded by bandits who first killed her parents and then took her away to sell to wealthy perverts. When Eren and Grisha arrived at the scene, they found only traces of beatings. Grisha went with the military police and ordered Eren to go to a safe place and wait for him, but instead, he went after Mikasa. After killing one of the bandits, Eren intervened with the second one, thus saving Mikasa. However, it turns out there were 3 bandits, so Mikasa had to save Eren in turn. After some time, the military police and Grisha arrived, and Grisha scolded Eren for not obeying him and risking his life. Since Mikasa had nowhere else to go, Grisha suggested she live with them. Because of what happened to him, Eren became the most important person to her. However, when she learned from Armin that Eren had transformed into a titan, she wanted to ease her pain by killing titans. But then another problem arose. The suppliers who replenished their gas reserves were surrounded by titans, making it impossible for the cadets to fight. Many of them were eaten simply because they couldn't escape. Those who remained alive decided to rescue the suppliers, but on the way, Mikasa ran out of gas and, deprived of her main equipment, faced a titan. Initially, she wanted to surrender, but remembering Eren's words about fighting despite everything, she decided to do just that. However, just as she was about to be attacked from behind, another titan suddenly appeared and fiercely attacked her attacker. From there, on the roof, Mikasa was saved by another titan, which then carried Armin and another cadet named Kanye away, where they watched as the titan killed another titan using hand-to-hand combat. Watching this, Armin suggested using this titan for their purposes. He wanted to lead it to the suppliers to eliminate the surrounding titans. Jean, who took on the leadership role, arrived with them and led the surviving cadets to the location of the suppliers. However, when they arrived, they were attacked by titans, but these were killed by the allied titan. Armin explained his plan to save the suppliers. They had 7 15-meter titans, but they didn't have enough gas to fight them, so he proposed blinding them with weapons and killing them from above. Their plan worked almost perfectly, but Sasha had to deal with a titan attacking her, which delayed their execution. Although they used up their gas supplies, they managed to execute their plan. However, while they were executing their plan, other titans attacked the allied titan, surrounding it and starting to devour it. Mikasa wanted to save it, but before she could, the allied titan saw another titan attacking the squad led by Eren. Without hands, it rushed at the titan and killed it by attacking its weak spot. However, it then fell powerless, and from the place where the titan's weak spot was, an unconscious Eren appeared. Even his limbs stopped moving, indicating that he saved everyone. But despite this, everyone still considered him a threat. Therefore, it was decided to surround him and then kill him, but they were hindered by the garrison soldiers, who promised to shoot anyone who approached them. At that moment, Eren remembered how he became like this because of his father's experiments, who injected him with a substance that erased his memories. But he also remembered that his father gave him the key to the basement of their house, where he was supposed to uncover many secrets. Remembering this, he grabbed his friends and transformed into a weakened version of a titan, saving Armin, Mikasa, and the titan's body, from which everything began to disappear, as with the other dead titans. Using this opportunity, Eren asked Armin to go out to the soldiers and try to persuade them. However, his words didn't convince the captain, who still ordered them to be killed. This was prevented by Pixis, one of the chief officers of the garrison. He went up to the wall with the boys and listened to Armin, who suggested using Eren to block the breach in the wall with a huge boulder. To their surprise, he agreed and immediately called all the soldiers to announce the plan. According to the plan, Eren transformed into a Titan, bit his finger, but as soon as he did, Mikasa attacked him, trying to kill him. Eren knocked himself out, showing that the task posed a significant threat. However, despite his lack of control, the squad still decided to protect him because at that moment, Titans that were very attracted to Eren started to approach them. Unlike the previous time when Eren's Titan instantly recovered from various injuries, this time it didn't happen, and he simply sat unconscious. While they were fighting, Armin arrived and tried to awaken him by injuring his weak spot, thus restoring his consciousness. Following this, they stuck to the original plan, and all the other soldiers were ordered to protect Eren at all costs. The mission was successfully completed, and Eren completely sealed the gate. However, after this, he was completely exhausted, but he was saved by Captain Levi from the Scout Regiment, who had not fought from the very beginning because they had left for an expedition before the Titan attack. Due to this, many soldiers were killed or severely wounded, which led to the renewed threat of an epidemic in the city. After completing the task, Eren received significant injuries, and when he regained consciousness, he found himself locked up under the supervision of Captain Levi, his commander, or Win. It turns out they know about the basement of his house and that he became a Titan from a game. Despite the fact that Eren poses a huge threat, as evidenced by his attack on Mikasa, Levi decides to take responsibility for him into the Scout Regiment. However, it's not up to them to decide whether Eren will join them or not. Not all people were happy that the Titan Eren became their ally. The residents living beyond Wall Sina believed that the pool could unite with the Titan and attack them. Therefore, it was necessary to solve the problem in advance and kill Eren. The decision on his fate will be made by Darius Sackley, the Supreme Commander, who controls all the guilds. A special military court will be held for Eren, at which Darius must decide whether to send him to the Scout Regiment so that they can try to recapture Walmria with his power, or to send him to the military police, where he will be immediately killed and his body studied. During the trial, Eren lost control and began to shout at the military police, calling them cowards who hide from Titans. Levi interrupts him and begins to beat him up harshly, thereby teaching him and showing the judge that even though Eren is a monster, Levi is capable of killing him at any moment, so his presence will undoubtedly be more beneficial. This move helped them, and the judge decided to send Eren to the Scout Regiment for a trial mission. If they manage to recapture Walmria, Darius will pardon him, but if he fails the mission, Eren will be killed. Eren will be part of Levi's Special Operations Squad, and under his supervision, they will live in an old castle. This was all Erwin's plan from the very beginning, which he kept secret. The only thing known is that in 30 days, they will go on a trial expedition to France to rehearse before the main mission. Armin and Mikasa will also go with them, as well as Jean, who from the very beginning dreamed of joining the military police, but changed his decision due to everything that happened. Additionally, it turns out that Major Hange of the guild has her own Titans on which they conduct experiments, allowing people to learn a lot about Titan biology. However, one morning, someone killed them, which greatly upset Hange because these two Titans represented great value. Despite the fact that killing Titans is not a crime, the murderers of these Titans were declared wanted in rows, as the experiments of Hange were spoiled by them. The recruits arrived at the castle, where they were greeted by Eren, who, unlike them, had already joined the Scout Regiment. Uniforms with the guild's logo were issued to Mikasa and the others, depicting wings, indicating their freedom. After their initiation into the guild, they set off on an expedition according to Erwin's plan. The whole team had to form a formation in the shape of a semicircle at equal distances from each other. If a comrade was not visible due to the terrain, they had to transmit their messages using signal pistols. A red smoke meant a Titan had been spotted, and the soldier who noticed the signal had to send it so that the other part of the formation could see it. Using these messages, decisions were made to change routes to reach the destination without encountering Titans. This was done using a green signal, which allowed all formations to know where to go. However, there were cases when the squad encountered a deviant, a type of Titan with highly developed ability to locate its prey. In such cases, a black signal rocket was launched, but at some point, the right wing of the formation encountered a Titan that simply ran straight to the center, where it was now the safest place. Armin tried to stop it, but it proved stronger and wiped out his entire team. However, it did not kill him because, upon realizing it was not Eren, it simply ran further towards the center. Because of this, the army concluded that it was a Titan with the same ability as Eren, another person with the same ability. This also attracted other Titans, which completely destroyed the right wing of the formation. Jean, Armin, and Reiner tried to stop her, but unlike other Titans, she protected her weak spot, so they couldn't do anything. Due to the impending threat, Erwin directed the formation into a forest of tall trees. However, only soldiers from the center were supposed to go inside, while the rest were forced to retreat from this forest. Armin and the others were ordered to stay at the entrance to the forest and stop the Titans. However, they didn't even have to fight them because the Titans couldn't reach them due to the height of the trees. Meanwhile, this female Titan caught up with Levi's squad, but instead of fighting her, Levi ordered to simply leap forward. Despite the fact that this caused the death of some soldiers, it turned out to be Erwin's plan, thanks to which they managed to catch the Titan. Tara was ordered by his team to run to a safe place before they caught him. The Titaness managed to hide her weak spot with her hands, which Levi tried to cut off, but she had the ability of an armored Titan, which allowed her to reinforce parts of her body with ordinary weapons. They couldn't pierce her, so it was decided to use a glove. But as soon as the Titaness heard about it, she started screaming furiously, causing the Titan standing at the forest entrance to rush inside. And when they reached her, they began to devour her, while the soldiers, on the contrary, tried to save her, but they failed, and using a pair of Titan bodies, the girl escaped. Eren decided to retreat back to the base, informing the others about it using the Autumn Signal rocket. The capture of this Titan was Erwin's initial task, but when drawing up the plan, he only took into account Eren's strength, which is why they failed to catch her. He also concluded that there was a traitor among them who hid his plan, and it was because of this traitor that the girl killed the experimental Titans. And right now, the teams, having transformed back into humans, were ordered to flee because the remaining fighters would deal with them. However, she just killed them, and finally, Eren, using the power of the Titan, decided not to fight. But even in his weakened state, the Titaness turned out to be stronger, so she stuffed his body into her mouth and ran away with him. But the sounds of their battle attracted Mikasa and Levi, who noticed that the Titaness was very tired from all the fights. While Mikasa distracted her, Levi attacked her and wounded her, so she couldn't defend herself. However, during the fight, he broke his leg, and they had a chance to kill her. But Levi said that the mission was more important, so they simply took Eren and left for the walls. However, the losses from the operation were so great and unjustified that the guild decided to support those involved, and they were summoned to the capital, where they were supposed to be killed by the military police. Annie, who, along with the heroes, studied at the academy, was ordered to accompany the convoy, which would be headed by the reconnaissance corps. But while they were doing this, Annie called Armin, who asked for help. He wanted her, using her police status, to help them escape. To do this, Jean disguised himself as Eren. When the guys reached the place, they needed to go down into the basement where they could go to the outer gate. But Annie somehow didn't want to go there because she found it strange that there was no one around. It turned out that they initially knew that the Titaness was Annie, so they wanted to lead her into the basement so that she couldn't take on the Titan form there. But instead, Annie wanted to become a Titan on the street, but soldiers prevented her from doing so. However, she still managed to transform using a small knife on her ring, which means she understood from the very beginning that it was a trap. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin found themselves in the basement where he was supposed to become a Titan to fight Annie. But he couldn't do it because transformation requires a specific goal. In turn, Eren couldn't believe that Annie was the Titan, so staying there was dangerous. Mikasa decided to go to the surface to distract her, but at that moment, Annie broke into the basement and severely injured Erwin because everyone in the city already knew about it. But the military police didn't want to risk their lives. Moreover, they began to threaten him with death for his plan leading to this. However, he was not afraid of death and simply asked the head of the military police to carry out his plan to the end. They also didn't want to take responsibility, so they decided for now to just capture him. Meanwhile, Eren realized that if he didn't discard his humanity, all his friends would simply die. So he still transformed into a Titan and attacked Annie, but she proved stronger again and inflicted severe injuries on Eren. However, this enraged him, and the absence of limbs did not hinder him in battle to save himself and attempt to climb over the wall. But Mikasa cut off her fingers, causing the Titaness to fall to the ground where she needed to be finished off. But at the last moment, he hesitated and didn't have time to cover himself with an impenetrable crystal. As a result, the guild's challenge was urgent, and reconnaissance into the basement was not handed over. Meanwhile, Erwin said that it was time, and people, well, how it will continue, we will learn in the second season of the video, which will be released sometime tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channels, but see you in the next video.